Poem Animals, book First Flight. This poem Animals is written by Walt Whitman, a major figure in early American poetry. In an age when all poetry was rhymed and metrical, Whitman made a break with tradition and wrote a revolutionary new kind of poetry in free verse. Free verse means he did not conform to the meters. Perfect meter में उन्होंने नहीं लिखा. He was a non-conformist in all respects, including his social life. Means he did not conform, he did not accept the norms and the rules, and he did what he liked. This is what it means. This poem, Animals, is a beautiful poem. The poet tells us that he feels more at home with animals than humans, whom he finds complicated and false. Now, the basic theme of the poem Animals is that the human beings are selfish, they are hypocrites, they are dishonest, they are inferior to animals in many respects, which remain calm and satisfied. Animals are sinless, they are guiltless. They either make no distinctions, and so the poets wants to live in their company. And now we'll see what is all there in this poem. Actually, the poet has a great love and admiration for animals. According to him, animals are always self-satisfied. They are always contented. They are always relaxed. They have no complaint about their condition. They never grumble like human beings, nor do they weep over their sins. They do not commit sins, nor they weep for their sins. And they have no false sense of what is wrong, what is moral, what is wrong, or what is immoral. Now, animals are always contented, as the poet says. They don't have mania of owning or possessing more and more things. They don't bow to another animal or even to their ancestors. They don't have any false sense of respectability. The poet feels that he is also related to the animals. They remind him of his original self. If you remember the Darwin's theory of evolution, he says that man is also an animal. He has evolved from lower animals. So he says that the animals remind him of his original self. The poet would like to go back to his animal's self. He accepts his relationship to the animal world. Animals give him tokens, values of his own animal nature. The animals still have those good virtues, good values, whereas the human beings have lost all the good virtues. Now, see the poem. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self contained. I stand and look at them long and long. The poet Walt Whitman says that I think I could turn and live with animals. He says that he wants to go and live with animals. They are so placid, they are so calm, they are so composed and self contained. They are so self satisfied. I stand and look at them long and long. Poets wants to stand and look at them. They do not sweat or whine about their condition. Now the animals, they do not sweat. They do not whine. Whine means they do not grumble. They do not moan or they do not crave for more and more about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Poet says that they do not sweat, they do not grumble about their conditions. They do not commit sins, and also they do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins in front of God. Human beings, they commit the sins in the daytime, and in the night they weep in front of God. They want to ask pardon, ask forgiveness from God. So animals, they don't do all this. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. Animals, they don't make the poet bored by discussing their duty to God. Duty kya hona chahiye, what is right, what is wrong. They do not do all that. And not one is dissatisfied. Not a single animal is dissatisfied. They are always happy and satisfied with what they have. Not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Not even a single animal is mad. Demented means he's mad with the habit, mania, with the madness of owning things. They do not have that craze for material things. They only have those things which they need. They do not collect the things like human beings. Not one kneels to another, not to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself. They evince them plainly in their position. Poets further says that not one kneels to another, not one animal bows in front and shows his respectability to another animal, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Nor do they bow, nor do they pray in front of another human being to another animal who lived thousands of years ago. Means they don't have any inferior or superior among them. All are equal. All the animals are equal. Not one animal bows his head to another animal for to show their respect, nor they show their respect to the ancestors, to their ancestors as people they do. Not one is respectable. Not a single animal is worthy of so much respect. Means not one is superior, others are inferior, or unhappy over the whole earth. Nor a single animal is unhappy or worried over the whole earth. They are all happy in this on this earth. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. So Walt Whitman says they it seems as if they show their relations to me. पोएट को ऐसा लगता है कि उसका कहीं ना कहीं ही इज़ रिलेटेड टू द एनिमल्स. ही इज़ हैप्पी बाय लुकिंग एट देम and he accepts his relation with the animal. They bring me tokens of myself. They bring me means they remind the poet of the true values of human nature. Tokens here means good values, true values. क्योंकि he says that animals they show him the true values जो कि human beings की होनी चाहिए थी. They evince them plainly in their position. They show these true values of uh, ह्यूमन नेचर इन देयर पोजिशन. वो दिखाते हैं एनिमल्स. दे शो कि what is the true life, what are the true characteristics which animal or and human beings should have. The human beings have long forgotten these values, these tokens. Here the tokens refer to the characteristics which animals they still retain, they still preserve, and which have been lost by human beings. According to the Darwin, as I told you before, according to the Darwin's theory of evolution, it is proved that man was an animal and he has evolved from the lower animals like apes or monkeys. And the only difference is that human beings have made a lot of progress. And in their efforts to civilize, जो उन्होंने अपने आप को civilize किया, they have lost certain good qualities. Those good qualities are like self-satisfaction, contentment, innocence. आदमी भूल चुका है. But animals still have those qualities. I wonder where they get those tokens. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? Poet says, I wonder where they get those tokens. Poet कहता है कि I wonder from where they get those tokens, from where they have picked up those good values, because those good values should have been with the human beings. Did I pass that way huge times ago? That he says that did I get then that theory of evolution. He says that did we get those qualities? Did the animals they get those qualities from human beings long time ago, and we have negligently dropped them. It means that human beings and animals were same because man has evolved from lower animals. फर्क क्या हुआ कि human beings have dropped them, they have forgotten those human good qualities, whereas animals have still retained those good qualities. So this is all about the poem. Very beautiful poem is it, and the message is very much implicit in the poem. Whereas where the poet focuses on the qualities of animals which remind us of human beings and their conductive life. Poet wants to remind us that we need to be animals like in many respects. We have to learn so many things from animals. Like animals, we should be calm and contented. We should not remain unhappy or stressful and should not be complaining for one reason or the other. We should not grieve all the time. We should not weep for our sins. We should not we should not commit sins in the daytime, and then we should not pardon for those sins in the night. And we should be all equal. We should learn from the animals that how equal they are. No one is superior, nobody is inferior, and no one should bow in front of anybody. So the poet wants to convey the greatest message that we human beings should learn a lot from animals and try to regain those lost qualities of simplicity, of innocence, of honesty. We should not be hypocrites. I hope you have understood the poem. Thank you.